So I heard that YouTube likes, or that the going trend on YouTube is long unedited videos. Hallelujah, because I could do a long unedited video. Long unedited little video. I can't say unedited, but I can do it. I just got done telling the story that I can't tell again because it's already a whole video. So now we have to talk about something else. Should we talk about the basketball player, the famous basketball player that I saw on my trip? Let me tell you the story of the fucking trip I just went on. Do you understand? I'm going to tell you from beginning to end the story of the journey I just had. It's been let's say a 3-day journey. And it's not even over yet. Nope. I'm still going. And in fact, the biggest piece of the puzzle is yet to come. There's one last hurdle. And it's a doozy. It's a doozy because the way this story ends is with my son, who's 11 years old, flying alone from San Diego to Tampa, Florida, by himself. Yeah, that's what alone means. I guess it could mean that he was on a private jet. And because there is a big storm over Tampa, they decided they may not land in Tampa. So, my son, I'm on my way to Tampa right now. They may not land in Tampa. If they land somewhere else, it would hopefully be Orlando, except that Tampa and Orlando are only an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes apart. And the storm is big enough that it could be over both. It's actually over both right now. So, who knows if he'll even land in Florida. But now we're getting to the end of the story. Let's go back to the beginning. I left San Marcos, Guatemala, Atitlan, Guatemala. Was it yesterday? No. Was it the day before? No. Yes. It was 2 days ago. Yes, 2 days ago. Not yesterday, but the day before. Okay, today is Tuesday. It was Sunday. I left. So, there's a collectivo. It's like a shared shuttle. About 12 people in there at most. So I had scheduled this previously, but I hadn't paid for it yet. And so they're supposed to pick me up at the basketball court in San Marcos. So I'm waiting at the basketball court, and it's the time they're supposed to pick me up. And not only is there no shuttle there, but there is nobody else, no other travelers there, which is weird. So here I am, I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm getting scammed for sure. So this tuk-tuk driver pulls up. You guys know what a tuk-tuk driver is, right? A tuk-tuk is? Look it up. I would put a clip in here. I could put a clip in here. I might put a clip in here. But I'm going for long unedited videos. That I still can't say that. So, tuk-tuk driver comes in. He's like, and he says my name. And he's like, you're going to Antigua. So I was headed to Antigua that day. And I was like, yes. And he says, like, hey, you owe me 125 quetzales. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to pay that to the shuttle driver. And he's like, no, you pay me for everything. And I'm thinking, this is the tuk-tuk driver. This is not even the tuk-tuk driver. Okay, this is the guy that takes me to the tuk-tuk driver. So the money's going to the guy, and I'm in the tuk-tuk going away from the guy to another town. He's like, this tuk-tuk's going to take you to this other town where you're going to get the shuttle. And I'm like, I don't know. This sounds sketchy. Like, this is how people get ripped off. I've been traveling for 24 years in a lot of developing countries. Like, this is how you get ripped off. So I didn't know what else to do. I was like, I had to go. Like, and he was like assuring me that it was going to be okay. And I was like, okay, well, this is like 20 bucks. So if I get ripped off, it's 20 bucks. Like, I got to go. It's worth the risk. So I give the guy the money, and he pays the tuk-tuk driver his share. And the tuk-tuk leaves. and it takes me about 10 minutes to the next town, and the shuttle's there. Okay, good. So far, we're not getting ripped off. So I get in the shuttle, which is packed. There's only one seat open, and guess where it is? You guessed it. The very fucking back. Absolutely. Next to all the luggage. Actually, I was so jammed in there. I might have a clip of that too. Here, I'll put a clip of that in. So we drive about an hour and a half to Antigua, and I'm staying with a friend. We get dropped off at the friend's house. I leave my baggage, and I go to the city, to the town. Beautiful old city. I've only got a total of about 6 hours, okay? And then I'm going back, spending the night at his house, and then I'm leaving the next morning on another Colectivo shuttle to Guatemala City. You know, I struggle with my words sometimes, obviously. So I get to the city, Antigua, and I'm 6 hours. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run around this city. I'm going to see everything there's to see. I'm going to capture all kinds of content. And I have this great idea for content. First thing I noticed when I get out of the Uber is that there are lots of homeless people. Everywhere I go, there's homeless people. There's one-leg Jim sitting on the street corner. There's a blind dude and a kid playing some instruments. There's another guy in a wheelchair, and I'm thinking, okay, this is great. I have a brilliant idea. I've got 200 quetzales left, and I don't know. I have to spend it before I leave, so I might as well break this up into 200 quetzales is like $30. So I wanted to get change. I wanted to get 5 quetzales, which would give me that's like 75 cents, right? So it'd give me like 40 bills, $45 bills or 5 quetzale bills that I could hand out to the homeless. And I was just going to walk around town, filming content, handing out quetzales to people. And I was so excited about it. I was like, this is going to be so much fun. I've never done this before. I mean, I've handed out, my son has been raised, anytime there's somebody begging, we always got to give $1 to the man. My son grew up with this. We always do. We never don't. We always do. And if we don't have $1, we give him whatever food we have. We give him something. So anyway, I'm thinking, but what I've never done is just walk around town and just stoke everyone out, right? Especially on camera. So the problem is I have 2 $100 bills. There are 2 100 quetzale bills, and it's very hard to make change. So I'm going around and I'm looking for something very cheap. Like if I can buy a couple cheap things and give them 100, if I buy something for 5 or 10 quetzales, they can give me the change. The problem is that nobody is going to have change in 5s. They're going to have change in 20s or 50. So I walk around town for about 2 hours on this mission, looking for the right things to buy. I was hungry. I was trying to find an empanada or I ended up buying a fresh squeezed orange juice for 20 quetzales. And the guy gave me back 80 quetzales in 10s. I was like, all right, deal, we'll do it. Okay, it's not my 5s, and I had to spend 20 to get there, but it's something. So now I've got at least 8 people I can stoke out with 10 quetzales, and I'm like, all right. But I still have this other 100, and I really want. There's so many homeless people. So I'm walking around. It's Sunday, and I'm like, okay, the bank's closed. And I'm asking people, like, where can I go to make change? I'm going in all these stores. I'm like, can you break this? Can you break this? And one person says, go to the bank. And I'm like, well, it's a Sunday. And she's like, well, you can, this bank, she tells me of a bank that's 2 blocks away. She's like, this one's open. And it's 3 p.m. I'm so surprised. I'm like, okay, amazing. So I go, and voila. The lady cashes me all in 5s. I ended up giving her 200 quetzales. The 100 that I had already given. So I had 8 10s plus 200 quetzales. So now I have got 48 bills. I've got 40 bills in 5s and 8 bills in 10s. Woohoo! I was so excited. So I leave the bank and it starts raining. starts raining and my phone's about to die. So I go find this hallway and I sit and charge my phone and wait out the rain. And I'm just like thinking, I don't have a lot of time. I really want to get out there. Stops raining finally. And I go out. Well, it doesn't stop. It's like sprinkling for the rest of the night. And I go out there and I walk around town for the next 4 hours. Would you believe? No, you're not going to believe this. You're not. Would you believe that I could not find one homeless guy, one person asking for change? Granted, it's sprinkling rain, yes, but there's lots of people walking in the streets. There's tourists, there's locals, there's people eating at the street vendors that are still covered. There's indoor markets. There's, there was still people around town. My question is, where did the homeless people go? Did they go to a home? They all went somewhere. They've got somewhere to go. I have no idea where they went. I don't know where the guy that had no legs went. He was gone too. I spent 3 hours walking around town. I walked every street about 4 times. I walked back and forth from the cathedral to the main park, all in every single block and every single street, and couldn't find anybody. I did give 5 quetzales to the guys that were asking for money to support the firefighters. I did give 5 quetzales to one guy that had a sign around his neck. I don't know what was up with him. I don't know. He wouldn't talk, and I don't know if he could talk or not. He could have been like pulling some shenanigan. I don't care. He was a guy, and he wanted money, and I gave it to him, and I was super happy to do it. And I gave 5 quetzales to a kid who answered some questions for me. I was because I couldn't find any homeless people. I thought, well, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna ask these Guatemalans some questions, and interview them on video. Easy questions, like, what's one thing that brings you happiness? What's one thing that you're afraid of? What's one thing you think the world could need to be a better place? What's one thing you might want to tell the world? You would not believe how hard it was for them to answer these questions. And they would be so shy, and I'd start to ask, and they'd be like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And some of them would walk away, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't. So of course I was like, all right, well, I'll pay you 5 quetzales. Like these women that were trying to get me to buy their bracelets. And I was like, I don't even wear jewelry. I'm like, I don't want to buy your bracelet. You don't have to sell me anything. I'll give you 5 quetzales or even 10, if you'll just answer me 1 question or 3 questions. And they would say no. I'm like, you're trying to hustle me this jewelry. You're trying to hustle so hard. They're like following me down the street trying to get me to buy this damn pulsera, this bracelet. And you won't take my free money in exchange for answering a question. Just tell me something you're happy about. Anyway, one kid answered my question. I gave him 5 quetzales. His mom's like, what about me? I'm like, are you going to answer me this question? She's like, no. I'm like, God. So I actually bought something off. I bought a little change purse off of her that I could put all of these quetzales in. The dilemma. I'll tell you what. I don't know what a girl's got to do to find some freaking beggars, Like, they're everywhere. They were everywhere when I first got there. And I was just like, and they kept asking me for money. I'm like, I got to go make change. I'll be back. And then they're gone. Anyway, Antigua was really fun. It's definitely like a one-day trip. You do not need more than 1 day, for sure. The park is really cool. It's like kind of like a fair almost in there. And there was a mime in there doing some spinning fire and doing this fire juggling or whatever. And I have a clip. I'll put it in here. Okay, anyway. I had so much fun walking around this town. I was having such a blast. I have so much footage. I've probably got like 15, 20 videos worth once I put it all together and edit it, That'll probably mostly go on my TikTok channel. Maybe I'll put some here. I don't know. Do you guys like adventure videos? Because I'm going to do some adventure videos on here. Or do you just want long, unedited videos? I don't know. Okay, so moving on. We could move on more quickly from here. Yeah, that was a long part of the story. why it just darkened. Okay. So, make sure I got 24 miles left. Yeah, we got some time. So I spend the night in Antigua. Next morning, go to Guatemala City on the most harrowing shuttle ride of my life. Literally thought I was gonna die. I was white knuckled the whole time. Again, sitting all the way in the back. This driver, it's about an hour and a half drive, and the first part of the road is just like super windy. This driver was hauling balls around these corners, whipping around other cars, freaking in the wrong, going around people in the wrong lane, around these blind curves, hauling ass. Oh my God, freaking terrifying. At one point, he hit a bump. It's going so fast and so hard that I flew up in the air, and when I came back down, I landed so hard on my seat, I have a bruise. Can you hear the rain? I hope it's not too loud. I was kissing the ground when we made it to the airport. Oh my God. Okay, so we make it to the airport. Some famous dude is there. I don't know who he is. Some basketball player, tall guy. Everybody wants his picture, so I know he's a famous dude. I'll put him here too. I'll put his clip here. So I go up to him and I'm like, you know, bro, you're lucky because I have no idea who you are. I was like, so I'm not going to fangirl you. And I also don't envy you. I was like, it's really hard to be invisible when you're 7, 8 feet tall and everybody knows who you are. And he was just like, yeah. He was like, don't even know what it's like to be invisible. So I followed him a bit, just trying to get him a clip without actually looking like I was fangirling. But I wanted to find out who he was, so I had to get a video. So far, nobody's been able to tell me who he is. Maybe he's not that famous. I don't know. All the Guatemalans knew who he was. Everybody was going up trying to get a picture with him. So he had to be somebody. Anyway, I get on my flight to Fort Lauderdale. And we hit the biggest turbulence. Now, I've had some big turbulence in my life. I've flown thousands of times. And the funny thing is before I even got on the flight, I was telling a story from the airport for TikTok about how I'm afraid to fly. Even though I've flown 1,000 times, I'm afraid to fly because you'll never get me to understand how this giant hunk of metal with all the people and all the baggage and everything can just float up in the air with his tiny wings. No. Not buying it. It's magic. You can give me your science, you can give me your physics, but I know that shit is magic. And I was just telling the story about how scared I am to fly, especially when it hits turbulence. Now, in thousands of flights, because I've been world traveling for 24 years, and long before that, flying since I was 5, since before I was 5. So we hit this massive turbulence, one of probably the top 3 in my life, maybe top 2, top 3. I really thought I was going to die. I literally thought we were going down. And for at least one, there was several points of turbulence, but there was at least one. There was one, maybe 2, that I caught on video. I was actually telling a story on the flight about how I look at the wing. And because the wing stays stable and it feels like I'm attached to something. And so I catch myself on video freaking out, thinking that the plane is going to crash. Freaking out. I should post that clip in here too, actually. I will do that in a minute. I literally think we're gonna die. It was like I knew I was filming, but I also forgot. I was so frozen and so terrified. I was just like, watching the video back makes me crack up. I was so freaking scared. And in the video, it's not even like, it doesn't even look like that much turbulence, okay? You can't really tell. It was happening. There is a part where you can see the turbulence happening, but it was a lot more than you could see, and there was a lot more than just this one Oh my God. Okay. I'll put the clip here so you can see. Oh shit. Ah! Oh my God. Whoa! Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're actually going down. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. I'm shaking so hard. I'm shaking so hard. Oh my God. So we land, of which I'm very grateful. And we are about 20 feet from the gate. And we sit there for 45 minutes waiting for a human to come and show the pilot how to drive on a yellow line. I'm baffled. I don't know. It's bizarre that they even need help with this. So nobody was there. 3 times the pilot came on and was like, they should be here any minute. They said they're on their way. They said they're on their way. They said they're on their way. I'm like, okay, so someone dropped the ball. There's a job opening for Spirit Airlines somewhere for the, the light director guy. Everybody, you guys all want to know what that job's like, right? Right? What a fun job. Like, that guy. So, 45 freaking minutes. So we get off the plane. I run to baggage claim because I have a connecting flight to Orlando that is boarding as I'm getting to baggage claim. And I have to get my bag because I'm international, so I have to get my bag, go through immigration, recheck my bag, and get to the gate. And my flight is boarding as I get to the baggage claim. I waited at baggage claim for another 20 minutes for that sucker to start. Obviously, I missed my flight. So I get my bag, I go through security, immigration, and I go to the Spirit counter, and I'm waiting in line for half an hour, and I get up to the front of the line, and she goes, ma'am, I'm sorry, but if you need to rebook, the line's actually on this side. Of which, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, can I just be in the front since I just waited in that? There was only 2 lines, there was only 2 women. She's like, sorry, you're gonna have to go to the end of the line. So I go to the end of the line. 45 minutes later, I get to the front of the line. And I'm like, okay, now it's like 7:30 p.m. And I'm like, okay, I got to get to Orlando today because tomorrow my son's flying into Tampa and I need to be able to go get him. So if there's no flight to Orlando today or in the morning, can you just fly me to Tampa tomorrow and I'll just be there already? And we'll Uber it or something. And she's like, the only flight to Tampa in the next 48 hours is flying. It was going to leave like 2 hours after my son arrived. So obviously can't do that. She's like, there's only 1 flight to Orlando before your son arrives. And there's only 1 seat on it at 7 a.m. I'm like, I'll take it. Are you kidding me? I like, book that sucker. Quick. And now what am I going to do? Now I've got 12 hours before my flight leaves. And I'm at Fort Lauderdale Airport, which I have 4 pieces of luggage and I can't go through security, so I can't get to the gate. I was like, where am I going to wait? Like, there was a few seats at the baggage claim area. There was no seats at the ticketing. This is a pretty small airport. It's not a very nice airport. And all the seats, everybody, those seats were taken. I was just like, I can't do this. I can't stay. I cannot just stand around this airport for 12 hours. And it was noisy. My nervous system was shot. There was twice I thought I was going to die yesterday. So I was like, forget, I need a hot bath. I'm getting a hotel. Even though I need to leave the hotel at like 4:30 in the morning. I'm getting a hotel. I'm going to have a hot bath. So I find a hotel that's got an airport shuttle. And I go up to the shuttle counter and I'm like, okay, I need to order an airport shuttle. And he's like, okay, we got to call the hotel. And he's like, call them. And I'm like, I don't have a phone line. I've been traveling out of the country for 2 years. I haven't had a phone line in a long time. I have Wi-Fi only, but I don't have a phone line. So I use WhatsApp. Can't call the hotel on WhatsApp. So this nice guy, he actually was not very nice. But he was in a very bad mood. He was very kind of just like, but did me a favor which actually took an hour, and he was on his phone for an hour. Bless his heart and soul. I don't care if he was rude to me. Bless him with all of the world's treasures. He calls the hotel, and the hotel goes, I'm in the middle of a reservation. I'm going to have to put you on hold. And he puts him on hold. And I'm thinking, dude, he just needs to be like, send the shuttle. Done. Stays on hold for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I'm like, how long does it take this hotel to do reservations? Like, what did I sign up for? So finally the guy, about 25 minutes in, he gets on, he goes, I'll be right with you. I'm almost done. And then he puts him on hold again. It's another 15 minutes. I'm just like, oh my God. So 40 minutes, he gets on, he's like, okay, can I help you? And the guy's like, can you send the shuttle? Dude goes, what are you talking about? We don't have a shuttle. I'm like, it's Comfort Inn and Suites. It has an airport shuttle. It's just down the road. The guy's like, oh, that's the other Comfort Inn. You called the wrong number. 40 minutes later. Okay, so we hang up, call the right number. Lady gets on the phone. She's like, okay, we'll be there in about 35, 45 minutes. I'm like, how fucking far is this airport? 45 minutes? It's gonna take them? Jesus. So now it's already 8:45, 9 o'clock. Okay, it's 7:30 is when I first started waiting in the Spirit line. It's been an hour and a half. So I go out of the airport, and I had Wi-Fi, and I knew that if I went to the shuttle location, I'd lose my Wi-Fi. So I made a couple calls on WhatsApp to let some people know what was happening, my mom especially. And I see the shuttle pass me within 3 to 4 minutes. And I'm like, oh shit. I got 4 pieces of luggage, and I am running because it's like way down at the end and around the corner. Running. It wasn't 45 minutes. 4 to 5 minutes. 4 to 5. Okay. We both misunderstood. I'm grateful it was only 4 to 5 minutes. I made it. I ran. I was puffing air. So I get to the hotel. It's 9 o'clock. I'm starving. I am disheveled. I take a quick, first let me say this. I go in the room. It's a nice room. It's a suite. It's got a couch and everything's really big. King bed. Super nice. Go in the bathroom. Very nice bathroom. No bathtub. Shower. And not just any shower, but one of these modern showers that, I don't know why they do this. There's half a wall and then there's no door. It's just open. What? Why? What? So all the water still comes out. It's cold. It feels weird. You're uninsulated. Like, what's up with this this is like this trend? It's like 10, 20 years from now, we're going to be like, what were we thinking? It's so stupid. Anyway, no bathtub. So now I'm just like about to break. I'm just I'm starving. Like, I'm just going to take a quick shower and I'm going to go grab food. There's a whole strip mall across the street, so I know there's got to be food there. So I take a shower. I go out the door. I'm looking at the strip mall, and there's no food there. The only food there is a Subway. And then on the left, there's a Cuban restaurant. I'm like, fuck, I'll go to the Cuban restaurant. So I go to the Cuban restaurant, and it's super expensive. It's like this expensive restaurant, all for the exact same food that we have in Guatemala. It was like, instead of $1 empanada, you get $8 empanadas. I can eat like 5 empanadas, you know? And everything on the menu is like really expensive, same exact food. Beans, rice, and pork, basically, and chicken and pulled pork, like pork and beef and sauce, more or less. Not eating there. I'm not paying that for that. I'm going to Subway. I don't like Subway, but I'm going to Subway. So I go to Subway. Anyway. Oh shit, I just realized I threw out my Subway bag and it still had 1.5 cookies in there. Oh, that sucks. Anyway. There's a cop pulling beside me. I hope it's legal to have my phone on video. Anyway, the rest of the night goes smoothly. I plan on pulling an all-nighter and not sleeping. But I actually did sleep for a couple hours. Made it to the airport this morning. Got on my flight. Remember, I don't have cell phone service. Flight gets to the runway, and We stay on the runway for an hour. First of all, it's already delayed a half an hour. Then we stay on the runway for an hour. I can't call my ride to let them know that I'm going to be late. I've got like a freaking Uber waiting for me that's supposed to pick me up. I'm going to be like an hour and a half late for that now. I find somebody that has cell phone service, tell them to call my mom and tell her to call the Uber to tell them that I will be an hour and a half late. Well, my mom never gets the message. Anyway, I arrive into Orlando Airport an hour and a half late. Lucky for me, I pull up to the baggage claim. My bag was literally there right when I walked up, grabbed my bag, went out, got in my Uber. He was not mad. Bless his ever-loving heart. And right before we leave, I get a message from my son's father saying, okay, the flight has left. He's in the air, but they don't know if they're landing in Tampa. So now we're back to the end of the story, where I am 5 miles from getting off of the exit to go to the Tampa airport. And by golly, it is raining and I see lightning. So that is a very bad sign. Okay, because they will not land if there's lightning. Shoot, I should check the flight tracker. Let's do this while I'm even. You guys want to check this with me? Oh shoot, I'm going to be looking on my phone with this cop here. He's not going to understand. I'm about to get pulled over. I'm on a video following the directions on a Garmin while looking at my phone on a flight tracker while driving a car while talking to you guys. This is quadruple tasking right here. Don't tell anyone. It's like going to be public knowledge. Oh, and here we come on traffic. Okay, he's over Tampa right now. But what's scary is that he's not supposed to land for another 2 hours. Oh, no. Never mind. Okay, bear with me. Maybe I'll fast forward through some of this. He's just finishing coming over Texas. Okay, we don't know yet. Okay. So it is 1:48. He lands at 3:30. So he's got an hour and 45 minutes. It's lightning and raining right now. There's a very good chance that this storm will be done in an hour and a half. Right? I mean, I think so. I hope so. That's cute. We're going to leave that because that's cute. Okay, well, let's see how this story ends. I'm gonna have to edit it. I'll have to add it in. I will add a piece in and I will tell you how the story ends. To be continued.